right, so everything cool here with Pnut from 311. How you doing, man?
Good. It's a beautiful day in Duluth. We're right on the water. It's all cool. I don't know why there's not more people here. It's like we're in Minnesota or something.
So we have Voyager coming out this week, man. Are you excited?
Yeah, very, very excited. I think it's leaked already. In fact, I know it's leaked already. So the initial reports from our, I consider them our street team, the people who listen to it already, are very positive. So I think everyone who self-control and is waiting for the official release is going to be very excited about it because we're really proud of the album and it sounds incredible.
Now, this ain't the first leak you had, is that right?
No, we've had a couple things leak here and there. I mean, it's impossible to keep things under wrap. It's just the way things go. And some people wait and some people don't. Most people that are listening to it have already purchased it, or that's what they're saying to me on Twitter. So I forgive them. Father Pnut forgives you.
Now, tell me a little bit about the album.
We worked with Scott Ralston, our longtime collaborator. We've been working with him for the totality of the band, more or less, give or take 2 years. And we've worked with John Feldman on 4 songs on this album. We worked with him on Mosaic, and had a lot of fun in both experiences. He's just like a caffeinated earthquake of a dinosaur trying to hold on the back of. He's fun to work with, and he's always got more than energy of 3 people.
Now, how has the writing process changed over 30 years?
These last 2 albums, we've been sourcing out other writers and collaborating with other people. In Los Angeles, there's this huge pool of just incredible writers up and down the age and experience kind of ladder, and everyone's trying to do something different. Everyone's got something new to bring to the table, so it's been kind of fun working in that world a little bit, especially for me as a bass player and getting into the lyric writing world. It's fun to sit down with a bunch of people with clipboards, and some people have laptops, and I'm sitting there with nothing. I'm just like trying to finish people's sentences, and it's really fun. It's really interesting. I don't know if it's the best way to make 311 music, honestly, but it's been really cool to, as we've been around for so long, to try something different and to be open to something different, to get other people's ideas kind of mixing in with our kind of core of what we bring to the table. And it's been cool.
Now, do you remember the first song you wrote with 311?
No, I don't know exactly first song that we wrote together, but I remember doing some sessions in Nick's dad's house, or maybe his mom's house, upstairs when we were working on Feel So Good for the first time before we moved from Omaha to Los Angeles. And I remember coming up with some ideas that turned into permanent parts, and just like the lyric writing thing, when I show up with nothing in the bag, nothing on the paper, like I don't want to think about it too much. I want to write, I want to write then and there. I want to capture the moment, and it's not the most efficient way to write, but it's truly inspired, and that's kind of the way I've worked things out in this career of mine.
Well, I mean,
it really lends itself a lot more to writing lyrics, not bass lines.
Well, I mean, it's definitely working. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's just nice having a place at the table, and then being just totally excited about what everybody else is bringing to the table. I mean, Essay's got a larger role on Voyager, something I was kind of adamant about in my way that like this would be an improvement. Like Essay's voice on all of our tracks is just an integral part, and I think it's underappreciated and underused as like a secret weapon for the band, and he's highlighted more in Voyager, which I think a lot of our fans will appreciate, because I know it balances out Nick's vibe, and if we've got more weapons, we should use all of our weapons.
Now, you're one of the few bands that basically had no lineup changes throughout your career. I mean, I understand the start off there was a switch up, but was there like an aha moment when you knew you had the right lineup for 311?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not a moment. It was kind of like a smooth in, you know, like a on a conveyor belt as it speeds up. It's like, okay, well here we go. This is how it's gonna be. We're not changing things, and then you get up to speed and you see how good it really is, how efficient that ride is, how smooth it really is. And, I mean, with everybody's growth has been amazing, but watching Tim over the 30 years has been just incredible. His arc of improvement and curiosity and creativity and putting his nose to the stone and really wood shedding on his instrument and getting a voice of his own it's been incredible to watch. You know, it shows in spades in the song "What the," which is turning into like a live staple. Even whatever, like 5 or 6 songs or 5 or 6 shows into this tour right now, and we're having a blast playing it. Cold for most people's ears, and the people that have heard it or seen the video, because that was one of the songs that we have a lyric video for Voyager coming out this week. But what does just like a highlight? It's kind of us at our best. We're loose, we're grooving. Essay's telling a story. Tim's got a couple solos. It's awesome. It's a great live song. I think everyone can appreciate it, whether they've heard it before or not. And that's kind of what we're going for on these set lists.
Now, when you first started out, what level of success seemed realistic to you? I mean, what would be the minimal accomplishment to say that you made it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was never. I never thought ahead. It wasn't. It was the expectations were. We're doing it. Whatever level we were at the time that I was reflecting on it was better than the time before, and that was the thing that I was noticing for the longest time, that we were stepping it up. There was this, in our first 10 years from 1990 to the year 2000, we had nothing but like steady climbs, on the ladder and up the stairs of kind of experience and recognition and being appreciated and putting in the work to deserve at least most of it, and being lucky to be on the tail end of people really buying records and CDs and tapes and being able to grab the radio's attention for a little bit in those 90s times where we're trying to make music that's different but that people can get down to and relate to one way or the other, in the philosophy and then in the rhythm.
Now, everything you achieved, what accomplishment are you most proud of?
I think the longevity is really the most important thing right now. I think that's the funnest thing to talk about in interviews. Like that's our like one ring to rule them all. Like we've got all these other stats, and we're gonna keep doing shows and making albums and enjoying that process. But the best thing is just like the zoom out. Like, oh, we're still doing it. It's really fun. We're really enjoying what's coming out of our creative process and what's coming up next and how the shows are and how the audience treats us and how we can add to the production and just be smart about this limited time that we have, even though it feels like it's gonna last forever. There's a finite amount of shows that we're allowed to play in this role that we have. So it's really exciting to make it as good as possible for as many people as possible.
How do you guys keep from getting tired of each other after all these years?
Oh, I'm sure we do. I mean, there's the reality of it is it definitely happens. But I think we made it so we can maintain just enough space to not go totally batshit crazy on the road from each other. I think, and we like each other enough that there's a large meter of tolerance all of us, and there is space, and it's just fun. The most time we spend together is on stage, but while we're doing that, we're thriving off of each other's, up and down and give and take, and the sweat that comes from all of that. It's great. It's a cool friendship. It's a great relationship, and yeah, it has its ups and downs, of course. And I just feel bad for the bands that can't make it through those kind of casual, like, that's gonna happen, like the dog is gonna take a shit in your living room.
Right.
Like, you're like, what were you thinking was gonna happen? Like, you're gonna clash with people. It's just, people clash. It's a direct result of giving a damn and having an ego. And you can temper both of those as much as you can, but it's also going to come up in ways that you can't control. So I don't know. Surround yourself with people that you really like. Being creative is a gift. Being able to be in this kind of workshop with these other guys for so long in the lab, so to speak, is a total gift. And like I said a few times already, I'm already excited about what's coming out next, and the new album is moving out all the way. So that's what kind of gets me out of bed when I think about the band is always like the next step, and waiting to hear what all of my brothers come up with idea wise, how I can kind of play with words on top of it, and add what I can on top of the bass lines.
Now, in your wildest dreams, have you ever thought your band would have such a huge following that it does?
No way. And that's one of the things that I think the audience knows and appreciates, is that we never expected any of this. Like, we always just wanted to just play. You're talking about whatever level of success. I kind of ran the question like a senator, kind of in the direction that I wanted. But I would have been happy just being in Omaha, like playing original songs, because that was real success for me. Was just to not be in another cover band. Like, that's all I saw in Omaha. Like, every band that was playing local shows was a cover band. They weren't playing original songs. Maybe one out of 20. And they were our age. At that point. So it was like, well, we should. We were never trying to be a cover band, and that's what I saw going on. That's what I could have formed a cover band. I could have formed a decent cover band, and would have been probably happy just playing around town one way or the other, trying to make life work. But to run into Chad when I was 15, the last second half of my 15th year, was like a real splash in the face of how good someone could be at that young of an age. I mean, he's 4 years older than me and had a ton of experience because he was doing drum corps with college students when he was still in high school, and doing road trips, little satellites out of the Omaha hub to perform with these drum corps, that are playing these exact beats, and really, they've got a song book that they're playing. It's not punk rock, like, oh, that sounds good enough. It was, this is musical war, and you're going to do it totally right. You're going to follow directions, and you're going to play it the way we tell you. And I came from such a do-it-yourself mentality that I really, I was like, wow, you can hear the difference. Someone that's really putting their whole self into it, and they've got a bunch of other people relying on them to be good. So to attach myself bass-wise to someone coming from that mentality, and then, who's also the biggest Frank Zappa fan in the world, and Pink Floyd maniac, Chad was at a young age in high school, just kind of shaped him out really well to be a good, pretty much a band leader, and an incredible drummer and percussionist, and what he brings to the table is kind of hard to put into words, how much he adds to our sound and our philosophy, and how we've been able to keep it together and keep it interesting, because all of us are deep in one way or the other, and that's just kind of a expose on Chad, probably my biggest hero in the band.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are touring with the Dirty Heads. I know they're big fans of the Devil's Lettuce. You guys have any crazy smoke sessions on this tour?
No, I'm trying to get something going. I was telling Duddy the other day, like yesterday, like this is a perfect spot to do some dabs. Like we should be doing that. He's like, oh, it sounds good. Like after we get done doing these interviews and these 10,000 other things, we can do that. And it just never happened. It's all good, but it was Chicago, so Chicago gets a lot of love, and there's a lot to be done on all of these days. As much fun and space that there is to kind of be by yourself, which isn't a ton, but there is. There's still a lot to do, and it's still work needs to be done. So we'll find a way to link up.
Now, on your own personal smoke sessions, are you old school joints, dabs, carts, edibles?
I've got a little dab pen that I love, and I've got a bunch of carts, and I've got some edibles.
It's crazy how weeds evolved, isn't it, man? I mean, think about it.
Yeah, it's changed so much. It's crazy.
I mean, you finally find someone who smokes a joint these days. You're like, what are you doing? This is the future. Look at this cart I got here. Look at this dab pen.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, just the joint is it's literal smoke signals.
Right.
Like if you're not in a cool place, everyone around you knows, and you're gonna stink for the rest of the day. As soon as I heard that from my wife about coming in from outside smoking and having an infant in the house, I was like, okay, well I gotta switch over. And ever since I switched over to vaping, I've been cool. I haven't been in the doghouse.
Now, on this tour, how do you guys go about picking your set list?
We have a set list meeting after every sound check, and at sound check, we're playing a song or two that we want to brush up on that we talked about in the other set list meeting, the day before. So we've got a little cycle that we go through.
You ever get tired of playing a song?
Yeah, totally. I mean, and the good thing is it doesn't last. It doesn't. It's not a stepping stone that just keeps stacking higher and higher on itself. It's just a little and sometimes it's there. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's not. To kind of let that idea pass. You gotta remember that it's someone's first show. It's a bunch of people's first show. It's also a bunch of people's 20th show, and it's got to be good no matter what. Whether you're in the throes of inspiration or not. Or you're in the dregs, and both are gonna happen. You just need to be mentally prepared for that, and you need to not hold on to that idea. I mean, it's just like meditation. If you're trying to clear your mind and you keep coming up with thoughts, that's going to happen no matter what. You're thinking. You're a mammal. On Earth in this plane. It's an inevitability. But don't hold on to it. Don't let it dominate your experience. And if you can control that, as someone whose job is to be inspired, it's super important.
I mean, you guys have been having hits since the 90s. I mean, there was a time where you couldn't change a station without hearing a 311 song. What song do you think you guys played the most?
I wonder. I mean, we played Down every night. We played Down every night since, 95. And maybe even before that. I mean, there was a tour in 94 where we were playing songs that would eventually end up on the Blue album that we were airing out on stage, which I think definitely added to their recordability, and a dominant performance that we captured on tape. But yeah, it would be Blue album songs since that was so big. I mean, we sold 3 million of those, and they're great songs. They're right after our second album, Grassroots, which we recorded, at home, on a VHS machine. Basically, it was an ADAT system, when you recorded on VHS tape, and it was so awesome. It was high quality at home recording that wasn't, super, super expensive, but it was like dinosaur technology now. And it's, speaking of how fast things have changed and how much things have changed, it's fun to have had that experience recording like that. And then going into a proper studio for the third album, the Blue album, we went to NRG in Hollywood, which Incubus was. I think they were next door doing Make Yourself, and Korn was there. Rage was doing sessions there. It was a magic time going on, and we did the Blue album with a huge hero of ours, Ron St. Germain, who had worked with Bad Brains to absolute legendary status in our minds, and he's like Feldman is now. Like they're cut from the same cloth as far as they're excited. Like they are fucking super excited. But they love music. They know it backwards and forwards, and they know how to massage it out of you, and they'll kick it out of you if you're not willing to deliver. And it was great. There was like bottles of on the outboard gear in the room and lava lamps, and I was 21, probably just barely, and we were doing these late night sessions. It was so much fun. It was nuts as far as how different my life changed in those 4 years from me moving out in 92 to record. It was 95, and the album came out in 96 that we were doing this Blue album sessions with Ron Saint. And then, a couple years later, after selling millions of those, we were in the room next door in NRG in Studio B doing Transistor. And it was the same thing, except for, like, we were into making it like space and kind of trying to take our time, but just doing something really, really different, not doing the same album twice, and it was magic. I'll never forget it, although I can't really specifically remember how much.
Now, next year is going to be the 20th anniversary of 311 Day. You guys have anything crazy planned?
I don't know. We're excited. That'll definitely fall into our lap as well, but we're kind of focused on it being the 30th anniversary of the band. It being the 20th anniversary of 311 Day will definitely that'll find its way into the conversation, but it'll be all about us turning 30 as a band.
Now, people want to follow up. They want to get the album. They want to see the tour dates, get tickets. Where's the best way for people to go about everything 311?
I think going to 311.com is a safe way to go, but we're on the socials. We're real active. People can track down anything any number of ways. I should just say Google it, but I'm on Twitter at Pnut, Nick's at Nick Hexum. You can see the tour dates at 311 on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. We're figuring it out. We've been online since 1996. We're dinosaurs of the internet band.
That was the dial-up days.
Yeah, 100%. We had a hotline before all that. We had a number that had like a voice recording on it that was something my mom maintained back in the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. I thank you for your time. It was great talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you guys at Darien Lake. Then I believe it's the 20th.
Cool. Can't wait. Sorry about yesterday being a snafu.
Hey, man. Shit happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. That's what I'm going to do. I'll call you the next day.
All right, buddy. Thanks again.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care.